Tim, and I will get on it. David, maybe you want to look it up. Cool. I knew someone was on it, right? Any other questions? Yes.
Can you give us your top 3 priorities?
Yes. Number 1 is transparency, communicating properly, creating better communications for all the constituents. Again, I live in the downtown, so across the street from me is going to be 900 units. Had I been mayor, I would have definitely voted for that to maybe be 6 stories or 5 stories, and not as big as it is. We can't undo what's been done, but that is one thing that I think if the neighborhood would have known about this a little better and it would have been communicated, they probably would have got more resistance and we would have been able to control some of these things. So that is number 1. Number 2 is code enforcement. Code enforcement is a big issue. You may not deal with it so much because of this neighborhood, but if you drive from the east to the west, you're going to see 2 different points. So if you want to go to the downtown and you want to leave City Hall and you want to drive to Bethesda Hospital, you're going to see tires, trash, toilets, garbage cans that have not been picked up for a very long time. There's been a lot of money put into the heart of Boynton. It's not the heart of Boynton if I'm looking at a shopping cart for a week on the side of the road. So again, I think that goes back to someone who will hold code enforcement accountable. And again, as a mayor or a city councilman, we can't hire people, we can't fire them, but we can ask questions, we can talk to department heads, and we can expect answers. And the one thing that I've seen is, in recent years, at City Hall, when someone comes in and asks a question, they'll say, we'll get back to you on that. No one's getting back to you, it's going into an abyss, and you're not gonna get a response for a long time. So I would like to change it back to the old ways, when Mayor Taylor served, where if you came to City Hall, and you have your 3 minutes to ask your question, you're going to be able to ask your representative what's going on and get an answer right then and there. And if your representative doesn't know, then the mayor should know. And if the mayor doesn't know, you will get a response in 24 hours. Even if it's something that we have to research and find out more information, it's not just going to be dead. You don't deserve that. You pay taxes, you deserve to have a response. So obviously, I believe we need more police patrol. We have speeding issues all over the city. We know that. And it's different. Again, I see people speeding through Leisureville all the time. I just picked up Mayor Taylor. I saw people blowing stop signs. I hate to say it, I saw someone when I pulled out, I was like, they just killed a duck. When I picked him up, I said, I'm absolutely devastated that I just saw that. So we need more police patrol, but I am grateful that the current city manager and the current city commission, I will give them credit, is that we are almost fully staffed with police, and that's something that was not able to happen for a long time. Police would come to Boynton, they would be trained, and then they would leave and go and work somewhere else. So now we do offer a competitive pay, which is something new, and I've been told we're, 4 positions away from having fully staffed police. So I think that it is something that we definitely need, and those would be my top 3 focuses, but I could probably go on for another 10, but those are my top 3. So, any other questions?
What are the important differences between you and your opponent who was here several days ago? What is your vision of Boynton in the future? And basically, why should we vote for you and not your opponent?
Well, Campaign 101 is not really to talk about your opponent at your own events. So that's why you never mention their name. I think that if you go to the Sun Sentinel interview, you'll see that we don't differ on a lot of things. I think it's about delivery. He has great ideas, and so do I, and a lot of times they are aligned. He wants the same things I want. There's many interviews that it's been said. It's just his disposition. I am more approachable. I don't have 5 businesses going on, 1 in Miami. I'm a local business owner. I've lived here 16 more years than he has. So I think that that's our differences. At the end
Better
of the day.
looking and better food, let's be honest.
I appreciate that. I just think I don't have the distraction. Oh, here's the other thing, is all of my opponents have run multiple times. My opponent did run before, and then he filed and didn't qualify before. But the other 2 have run multiple times. So this is the other thing I'd like to let you know, is on election day, you have to get the 50+1 to win. The county pays for that election on March 11th. Who do you think pays for the runoffs?
You do.
Everyone raise your hand in this room.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Everyone raise your hand.
You're right.
Because the city pays for it.
Yeah.
So we have, Susan will tell you, Susan has been to every single event. She has seen every single forum, and I'm happy that you showed up. I didn't even RSVP. I didn't know you were coming.
Yes, I did.
I-
Just not to you.
Just not to me, okay. So, at the end of the day, you have candidates that I call them the serial campaigners. They file. You only need 25 petitions to qualify to run for office in Boynton. It is not like that in other municipalities. What is it, Boca's 150, I think, Delray, I think, is even higher. And what that does is it actually starts to put the people that really want to serve to run, instead of people that just use it to market their business or are looking for job security. I'm not looking for job security. I'm doing this for the right reasons. I sit on the senior advisory board, so I'm very passionate about senior issues. I sat on the Children's Museum Board with Mayor Taylor. I also am a big fundraiser and advocate for ABDA, which is Aid for Violence and Domestic Abuse. So those are things Boynton does not have a relationship with ABDA. And we are a very high turnout for domestic abuse. So those are the things as a mayor you can do. Another thing with my opponent is he often talks about how he's going to go he's going to go on a Monday and have lunch with the developer and do a negotiation. Well, he's going to be in prison because that's a violation. Everything has to be done in a transparent form. You cannot just go and say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. No, it's a collective. And it's not only about the commission making the decisions, it's about the commission, your district, and your mayor coming into your community and finding out what's going on. Because I can tell you right now, there's probably 2 or 3 commissioners up there, 2 commissioners and a mayor, that have no clue what's going on in this community or a lot of other ones. So again, I'm not looking for job security, and I think that's the difference between me and my opponent. Any other questions? Yes?
So I brought this up to you Friday when I first went here. I think these people want to know, what about the mall situation?
The what?
Yes, the mall.
Oh, yes, thank you. The mall.
So, again, I think that's something that's been back and forth of what somebody can do on the mall. And my opponent will say that he's going to negotiate all of these things to prevent the 9,000 apartments they're gonna put there. Right now, the city doesn't own the mall. So it's hard for us to tell you, it's hard for me to tell you, and as a mayor, what's gonna happen there, because we don't own it. However, when it does get sold, and we know that it will, it's time for the commission, the mayor, and the city to come to these communities and start talking to you. What I would like to see at the mall, no matter what is there, I would like to see that there's some type of green space, amphitheater, because the western community is not coming to the east to use the amphitheater down there. And it would be a great thing for the communities out here. I would like to see the coastal cruiser be able to come from the east to the west too. I think that would help as well for people
That's
that
the
don't
free
drive
ride.
anymore. Yes, the
Golf
free
ride.
ride. And it's going into the east. And is there any talk of it, Susan? You would know this about going to the west. Susan's gonna be the
No.
next District 3 Commissioner. in
Oh,
3 years.
thank you.
We have 2 people here that are vaults of everything of the city. They've been here a long time, so,
No, there's not talk. They're just now expanding it to the southern end of the city.
Okay. So at least it would take you to Bethesda.
We're
You had to go
working
around.
on Tri-Rail.
So, at the mall, I think that obviously we don't want more apartments. We don't need more apartments. We have over 2,000 of them coming to the downtown right now, or 1,600.
It's more.
It's more? Yeah, I mean, there's 900 across the street from me. So, it's not creating homeownership opportunities, and we know that that's a challenge for everyone in every demographic, especially with insurance costs and condo issues going on right now. But we need some more homeownership to create a less transient community. So if I'm your mayor, those are the things I definitely push for: less density, for sure, and protecting the environmental parts of that parcel, because there are the eagles, right? You sent that email the other day.
Yeah.
There's the eagles, there's a lot of animals over there and environmental stuff. Now, what I do know is the prior city manager really wasn't doing much about the mall. The mall was just kind of hanging out, there. There are, $770,000 worth of adjustments that need to be made on that property right now. And so I think that's what would probably motivate them to start saying, okay, we gotta do something with this.
When you say adjustments for what?
Code issues,
Got it.
I don't know, when's the last time somebody's been to that mall? Raise your hand. Recently?
Yeah, like in the last 2 weeks.
Only because Macy's going out of business.
Macy's going out of business. Yeah.
For example, the arts on the wall, that art project was put up illegally and was never voted on. And oh, by the way, that was while Cortland was, your opponent was Arts Board Commissioner. Yeah, he didn't stop that, and that's illegal. It violates city code.
So, any other questions? Well, I want to thank you all for coming, and please, if there's any big eaters, get a second round of food and take it with you.
You don't have
Take
any more
some
questions?
dessert.
Come on, this is your community.
But you know what, if you don't know, my direct number is on the flyer. You might wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, I wanted to ask for something. Please don't call me at 2, but you can call me at 6. I actually get up about 4:30 and work out at 6, but I'm up early. So if you call me at 6:15 in the morning, it's a good shot that I'm gonna answer that call. Go ahead.
Do you have a position on affordable senior housing?
I think that we need to talk to some developers about starting to offer that now.
And would it be as rentals or ownership opportunities?
Well, it's
Ownership.
tough for challenge for the seniors in this community right now to buy as along with anyone else. So I would be opposed to senior rentals if it's being catered to more of that demographic that's in need. But just to throw $4,500 apartment rentals across the street from City Hall, and we don't even know if they're gonna go for that amount, right? That's what they were told. But a developer gets the land, and then they build on it, and chances are they're gonna come back to the city and they're gonna ask for a lot more money, and you either look at the dirt, or you give them something and they're gonna build. But again, we can't tell them all the time what to build, but once they buy the property, then you just don't give them the incentives that they need. The double-edged sword is, are you gonna look at dirt, or are you gonna look at a building that maybe one day would be converted to a condo and create homeownership? Often happens in municipalities, just don't know if that would happen in ours.
It hasn't, because all that stuff by Target was promised to go condo, and
We
it
only
never
have
did.
Renaissance. And a lot of people are renting Renaissance, because what happened after 2020 and during 2020 was you had a lot of investors come. So communities like this are great because of the rental restrictions. You can't just have somebody come and buy a unit and they can rent it right out. It's not like that in a lot of, there's no HOAs in the east, so it's kind of the Wild West.
Look, for example, here, our restriction is 3 years.
Excellent, but mostly 1 or 2.
Yeah.
2 usually, but 3's a
Right,
good
we
one.
made
and
it 3.
It should be 3.
I have a question. On the eastern side of our property where the lake is, there's the McDonald's, new McDonald's, and there's the Walgreens, and behind there's people fixing their car. There's, we cleaned out homeless people out of there that were living on that side of the lake, and literally there was tents there. So I know that's an issue for a lot of us, because when we have an easterly wind that just blows constantly, which is nice, but that breeze blows their garbage onto our lake. And
So how long has this problem been going on over there?
pardon me?
How long has it been going on over there?
For a long time.
And how many times have you reported to city and to
Couple. I know more than
Like
once.
your district, your commissioner?
Yeah, and I can tell you this, that we went over there and cleaned it out. People that live here went over there and cleaned out, and then finally there was a tent, people living, they had a bathroom and everything, they were probably going in our lake.
Did you also report it to the
Police,
mayor?
police came and got them out, gave them 4 hours.
Okay. And have
Finally,
they-
but
have
still,
they
that whole
returned?
lot over there's a lot behind McDonald's. It's just potholes and people parking their car, there's semi-tractor trailers there.
So this goes back to when I said that we need somebody at City Hall that answers the phone.
Right.
Because right now, the administration would tell you to get on your cell phone and download an app called My Boynton. People don't want another app on their phone, and I get it, it is convenient for some people. But the majority of people that are actually caring about their community, they want to talk to somebody, and so we should give them that option. And it goes back to the old saying, see something, say something. But now we have cell phones. So the best thing you can do if I'm mayor is you take pictures of it and you text it to me, and
Yeah.
I can go from there on it. But I can guarantee you're going to get a response. I can never say I can fix every single problem. But I can tell you that you're gonna be heard, you're gonna be responded to, and hopefully enough that we can work on it and make it look a little better for you.
Yeah, one of my pet peeves is that they never pick up the branches and the tree limbs and everything else on a Friday. And I'll call them, of course, at late Friday, oh, well, they could still be there, they work till 7. And then it goes into the next Friday.
Yeah, I've been dealing with the same issue. That goes back to
When
the
was the
food
last time you
issue.
saw them come pick it up? Fortunately, the landscaper comes in between, and when he's done, he picks it up.
Yeah, but it looks crappy in between.
They are very bad with that.
That's one reason why I filed was code compliance, code issues. Because our bulk is picked up on Friday and mostly Saturday from Saturday to the following Friday, I'm now looking at tons of trash all week because people don't just say, I'm just gonna leave it out all week long. So I think we do need code enforcement on the weekends. That's something I would like to propose, even in the more challenging areas. And I don't know what kind of pushback I would get for that, but I think that's gonna solve a lot of the problems. And I know,
I know you spoke about the downtown and the development that's coming, and you said there's nothing we can do about it because it's already been approved, apparently. I know it's like 2,200 more units. How is Boynton going to handle that downtown? I mean,
Traffic.
yeah, the
traffic,
infrastructure, the traffic. So again, we have our traffic expert here, but.
It's 9
it's-
towers.
It's going, we do need a parking garage down there, I can tell you that, because there is nowhere to park, and we're just getting backed up, and when the events are happening, I live right across the street from City Hall, and so when we have Pirate Fest or First Friday, I can't even get out of the driveway. I know ahead of time to pull my car out of my driveway and put it on the, right at the rim of the sidewalk, so somebody knows there's a car there, but if not, I could not leave my house in an emergency when there's events, so we do need a parking garage. It also goes back to making sure that we try to squeeze that out of the developers to pay for that stuff, so that we are not. So it does go back to when the initial deals are happening and some negotiations are happening, that you're trying to do that. But we need a better comprehensive plan too, and that's something that, again, I am not on the commission now, so these are things that I would like to see happen. But I think it's revisiting where we can shift some things for parking and making it more of a walkable downtown.
is our water supply going to be in jeopardy for, I mean, are we all going to have low flow pressure because all these
Again, you
people are
know,
coming in?
it is a strong possibility that would happen. But again, that's something that there would need to be studies, just like the traffic studies, to try to justify the expense of trying to resolve the issues.
But you're not for a lot more, at least.
I would be for an office building downtown because again, I have to work on Gateway in Congress. So an office building downtown, what it would do is that with all the development that's coming, there's gonna be a lot of commercial use. So if you do have an office building downtown, you're gonna have people that go there to eat lunch during the day.
Or mixed use.
Yeah, or mixed use, right. But there is mixed use coming. That's what we're getting down there. So mixed use is retail and, office space is priced differently. So, I always say, if I'm in the office, I'm not making money. Well, there still should be some flex office spaces for people that want to go in there and have an office space. And then they're going to go have lunch and they're going to walk in the downtown. And that's how that's going to keep it moving in the day. So I am a big proponent of an office space being put down there because we don't have one.
Okay, so I'm approaching it from a different perspective as the person who's written countless letters, as Commissioner Kelly can tell you, including the one recently. But I look at it as, first of all, no, we don't have water. They just drilled down to the second aquifer. They just approved it like 2 weeks ago, and that's not well known. We have no water. We have no way to flush toilets for 9 more towers coming in to downtown Boynton alone, let alone what comes into the mall. We sell our water to like 10 other cities. And I'm getting to my question, I promise.
No, you're educated on water because you're the environment.
Oh, I'm the scary one that you don't want to know stuff. So my thing is, and I've been an advocate of this pre-Amy, we need to be looking at doing exactly what you're saying. We need to have retail on the bottom. We have a 4-story height maximum. By the way, the residents voted for it twice in the city of Boynton. I voted for it myself. The second time, I was too young the first time. We have a 4-story height maximum. There is a way to go after these developers and stop the live local. And it's about changing codes and zones. And let's make it happen and make it so onerous and so expensive that they walk away from these 9 towers of 10 stories each, coming in, by the way, next to single-family, single-story homes. Do you want that next door to you? No, you don't. 30 feet away? No, you don't, because that's what's coming. And we need to look at doing retail on the bottom, 2 layers if we're going 4 stories of office spaces, because like you said, we have no office. This county is pulling in every billionaire worth their salt. We all read about it in the news. Every business is coming in, and it doesn't come to Boynton. We are like the bedroom community for the county. Why aren't we getting those jobs, those high-paying, good jobs? And a spot for you and me to work. I'm a realtor too. And then we should also be looking at maybe doing luxury penthouses up top.
Yes.
Because that way you're getting the tax bases in that you need. But the best part that solves your parking, which I haven't had this discussion with you, is during the day, everybody's working, everyone's going to those businesses downstairs. At night, guess what? They all leave. On the weekends, they're gone, and then you have the parking available for all your city events. And we are such an amazing city. And Amy can tell you this. We might be the third biggest city, but we have the second most amount of events of any city in this county. We are amazing for our residents. But like you said, we have nowhere to park, and that would solve our parking problem.
And it goes back to some ordinance changes too. Because some of the ordinances are, I don't know, Commissioner Tully, 30 years old, maybe older, that's what I've been told. So 30, 40 years ago, you didn't have 10 people living in a 2-bedroom and 9 cars. And that is very hard on the infrastructure of the city. If new sidewalks get put in and there's 8 cars parked on it, the sidewalks are not gonna last. So we do have to kind of go back to the basics and start analyzing how lifestyles have changed. Please, my feet are killing me. Can I sit down? So I think that's where I'd like to begin to, is reviewing the current ordinances and how they can be changed to start cleaning up the neighborhoods and protecting them, because it has gotten a little loosey-goosey over there. What was your question, Susie?
Oh, well, no, sorry. No, please, explain what you, do you like that idea? Was
Yeah,
that
I
something
love
you
that
would
idea.
be a proponent
I love
of?
that idea, and, everyone says, why can't we be like Delray? We're never gonna be like Delray. We
You
don't
don't
have a
wanna be.
road that
We don't.
connects us right to the beach.
Yeah,
It's just that easy. But we are a marina town, and we have fishermen there, and we have a lot of beautiful things.
beautiful marina.
Right, and we also have some historic things that could be adjusted and made a nice little village that we've talked about, if anybody knows about the Andrews House and what's going on with that. And those are things that could definitely give downtown more character. But our events are blowing up. I can tell you in the last year, they have been amazing. It's just we're dealing with, if there is one, I better leave before it happens, or I better block off my front yard. So, but I'm grateful, you can't have things without having the challenges. And I've been here for 20 years, so, I remember, 2010, calling you, Commissioner Casello, Dave Ehrenberg at the time, and saying, we are living in the world of sober homes. And I could walk out, remember we took that walk? I could walk out and there were hypodermic needles. There were not right on First Avenue. So it took Jerry Taylor, Joe Casello at the time, and Dave Ehrenberg walking the neighborhood. It took them showing Dave Ehrenberg that this really does exist. A lot of political people on the higher level, they're living in a different world than what city commissioners are living with, and your state reps and your congressmen. It's a different world. So bringing Dave in and being able to say, this is what we're living with, this is a scary situation, and I give him credit because the sober homes did start to clean up after that with you guys.
You didn't bring up the property taxes value went down? Did you bring, was that what we
No,
talked about? Something went down on the value of our taxes or something you were talking about on Friday? No? I thought that.
No, we were talking about the value of the homes so what's happening on the west coast of Florida, a lot of senior citizens have been losing their homes because the taxes and the insurance have gone up, and they've had to sell their homes at less than the value because they can't afford the HOAs. So that is a very scary issue, I think, because I'm passionate about senior issues. And I do like that a lot of the buildings are not governed that way over here. So I don't know how it happens so much on the West Coast, as maybe you would know as a realtor, but it's not gonna happen in Sterling Village, they're pretty secure, but it's a shame that now a lot of condo buildings are getting punished for what happened at Surfside.
Yep.
And Surfside was a disaster. And there's some great condo buildings that are now having to come up with a ton of money in their assessments. Their insurance has gone up and they're having to fix things that maybe don't need to be fixed. And then you have the 40-year inspection. So it is a very uncertain, unstable market. And the public relations on a national level is not helping the condo market in Florida. Because if it's under 3 stories or 2 stories, you don't have to deal with all of these restrictions, but a buyer in Canada and a buyer in New York doesn't know that, so they're just staying away from condos. Condos are sitting on the market a long time right now.
You mentioned sober homes around the time 2010. I can speak from the fire department level. At the time, I would say the fire department was averaging at least 5 to 10 overdoses a day. And that's not an exaggeration. And until the city did something, put a moratorium on the sober homes coming into the city, and along with Dave Ehrenberg, when you said there was change, it was like a light switch
Yes.
turned off.
Yes.
That those overdoses went down to almost 0 day, that we still run on them. But at that time, it was, we were spending more money in our budget on Narcan than our whole drug costs, any other drugs that we were on the rescue drugs. So I just wanted to speak on that. When the city when there is some kind of effort involved, things can get changed. And that's a prime example.
All right, one more question.
Question, but if it wasn't for Tim telling us about this race, I wouldn't even know there was a contest going on. Right. So I don't get any.
Thank you, Tim.
email.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I have tried to do my best. Campaigns are very expensive, so, we have to operate on data. I have sent out 3 mailings since December, so I don't know if you vote in every election or not every election.
Does the town,
Mayor,
The town really doesn't do anything. It's a county thing, the supervisor of elections, and only recently has it been pushed. And as you know, the other day was the last day to request to vote by mail. So, prior to, before you would have automatically got that ballot, and DeSantis changed the rules, so people have to actually request. So a big part of my campaign from January 1 until now has been sending out emails, sending out mailers, reminding people to request, because people are going to forget, and I'd rather they have a ballot at home. But it's very, very challenging. The last election had about a 9,300 turnout, and I don't foresee it being that high again this year. I hope it is, because again, everything is on the local level, and what we talked about earlier, we're all dealing with it, but people just leak through these elections. And we don't have a November election, we do it in March. And again, and thank God, because when we talked about that runoff, that would cost the city $100,000 to go into some type of runoff at some point. So it is kind of good that we do them in the spring, but the turnout's just always low. It's always been like that since I've been in politics for 25 years.
I think I expressed to everybody that I have never voted in one of these races, but what I wanted to express is that these races are won by just a couple hundred votes. It's not, I think last year was 6,000 votes total, I think, in that number, what I was told.
Last time, District 2, the winner won by 4 votes.
Yes.
Right, so that's my point, so every vote
That's
counts.
Northeast Boynton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you guys everybody being here today is important, and it's your city, and you should care, because it will change things for you, right? It's good, bad, and ugly, it's gonna do it.
There
No.
is no early voting, there will not be early voting locations, and it is too late to get a vote by mail. So, I'm gonna let you know where you vote. I got on my phone right now, pull it up, and I'm gonna let everyone know exactly in case there was a polling change. I doubt there is, but.
Boy, early voting is normal, north.
Only
They
for
only
bigger
do it for the
elections.
primary and the generals here. They've never done it in the municipals. Again, that would be very costly to have it. I agree, with 10 days of early voting, I can't even imagine what that would cost. So, oh, you want the mic again?